And race by race preview time for Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Paul Lally is here to give his expert opinion across the races, and we're going to crack straight into race number 1, which comes up on the A course and an earlier start time of 10 minutes past 7 o'clock. It's a Class 5 over the 1200 metres and fingers crossed, raced on Sunday. Moore, he was scratched on the 12th of July with a lame right hind. He's had one trial since. Theta Hedge has placed his last 3 course and distance. Easy 2 has the pacifiers off and the blinkers going on. Valhalla, he raced last Sunday as well, ended up running 5th behind I Give. And down the bottom, Hunky Dory's coming back from the 1400 to the 1200 for his first up run, and he has had 2 trials, both up at Chungfa. Now the speed map in the first pool has Moore going forward. We saw him in a recent trial hand in under a good hold to the line. Yeah, look, he's performed over 1,000 metres as well. So this is the 1200 metres, so he should be able to get to the front with no problems. Theta Hedge is another alternative leader. He likes to go forward as well, and good manship won't be too far away. But I think Moore can get the lead on his own. Zach Burton rides him for Benno Jung, but we're going to start with some race day form from just a few days ago. Paul, Valhalla runs 5th. Now, fingers crossed, was a winner 2 starts ago. He's finished down the track here running 12th of 14th behind I Give, but it was a good to yielding track. These 2 on the quick back up, either of these 2 figure in your top 4?
No, they don't. Look, Valhalla does actually, just on a very minor line, does Valhalla. He's dropped 30 pounds after this, so I like the way he did finish off nicely enough. Fingers crossed, like he's still going to carry this big weight, and that's what worries me. So, look, Valhalla, look, I like the way he did hit the line. I think he races better at Happy Valley as well. That
is our first replay. The second one features Theta Hedge. This is a trial. Gorgeous Vitality runs on Wednesday night also, and fingers crossed, as we've just saw, has raced since this trial.
Yeah, so Theta Hedge is obviously a horse that we quite like to go forward. I've concluded him as well. He's won off a rating of 35. He's at this rating of 39. I thought the trial wasn't too bad from him as well. So a nice trial enough from Theta Hedge. From barrier number 6, he should be able to get across. I don't think he'll be able to cross Moore, but he can sit right outside him.
And Matthew Poon takes the ride on him for Francis Loy, who trained the most winners of any trainer at Happy Valley last season. In our final replay, Paul, is Vemos at the trials running 2nd. He's a pretty regular Wednesday night visitor, Vemos, but his last 4 have all been over at Sha Tin. Did you like the trial?
I did, and he's coming back here to Happy Valley, which I think will really suit the horse. He's a 22 start maiden, but he has run 2nd off a 49 rating. He's got Hugh Bowman aboard. If he's ever going to win a race, I think this could be the one. He's ready to go fresh, so I don't mind him in this contest. I thought the trial was pretty good here as well.
And that is a look at the runners in race number 1, a few of them at least. What are your top 4?
Well, I'm going to go with Vemos. We just spoke about Vemos, so I'm going to go with him, Vemos on top, Moore in there for 2nd, Theta Hedge for 3rd, and Valhalla for 4th. So 5, 2, 3 and 8.
And that is the preview for the first at the Valley, the Class 5 Gallopers. It's Happy Valley race number 2 up right now, and the starters list is as follows for this Class 4 over the 1650 metres. Casapapa is on the class drop and makes his first trip to Happy Valley. D-Star, a last start winner, extra £7 for it. Fearless Fire, he's a 5-time course and distance winner with a good draw. Sturdy Ruby's placed 2 from 3 course and distance. Fortune President, he's improved his last 3, including a win 3 starts ago. Prosecco has the visor coming off, and Dragon Stars had 2 trials, including winning his previous one by 20 lengths, Paul, and he got out with that huge lead in the trial, and they just kept on trucking. It was up at Chungfa, it was a small field. That might not happen here.
No, I don't think so. Not with Fearless Fire, because he really likes to lead, and he's drawn nicely in barrier number 2. Prosecco's been going forward in his recent races, as has Fortune President, but I think he'll get a nice run in behind. As you mentioned, Dragon Star. Now, he has drawn wide, so he will try and come across here. He's got the apprentice claim as well, so maybe he can go on with it, but he might be caught wide for a while. Durham Star and Sturdy Ruby both will get really nice runs, I think.
Let's look at the speed map interview now. Hugh Bowman, fresh off a winning double at Sha Tin in the season opener. Partners D-Star looking for back-to-back wins also.
Hugh, D-Star, one of your rides at the first Happy Valley meeting this season, managed to get that win last term, and an interesting ride that eventually won the race. Talk us through it if you can remember it.
Yeah, Nick, it was good to win on him. He's a bit quirky. He doesn't like to be bustled early and likes to find his rhythm, which he was able to do. But then the it was quite a fast early pace, and he backed it off down the back, and I actually pulled out to take off, and he didn't want to go, so I waited a bit longer, and then they slowed up again, and I didn't really take off. I just came out and didn't take his momentum from him when the rest of the field was stacking up in front of him, and he made a pretty sustained run, and I felt he was really on empty from the 200 metre mark and still was able to sustain a pace to the line. So it was a courageous win, and first up this time I'd like to think he might be a little bit fresher, a bit more enthusiastic for the first part of the race, and if we can get that right, he should be there at the second half.
Yeah, it was visually impressive, I suppose, from the grandstands. Obviously a different feel for you as a rider, but he did do it very well. He's had a trial. I personally thought the trial looked solid.
The trial was good, and like I spoke about enthusiasm, he felt to me like he had that little bit of enthusiasm. So with the summer break not doing much, he might just bounce and put himself a bit closer in the run, which would be an advantage. And look, he's a consistent horse, but he just needs things to go his way.
Same draw as when he last won as well, so obviously we don't know how the race will play out, but I guess that doesn't overly complicate things given that he has 1 from 5.
No, that's right. I mean, it's a standard draw. It's good. It's not a huge advantage. It's no disadvantage. So it'll just be more dependent on his manners, how he jumps and gets into the race, and see what the others do.
Opening day double for you, Huey, as well. So the season only 1 meeting in has got off to a good start this season for you.
Yes, my first 2 rides were winners, so I couldn't have started any better. And yeah, look, we've come into the new season fit and healthy. Still got a couple of pounds to lose to find my minimum weight, but I'll do that soon enough. And yeah, looking forward to what lies ahead.
Hugh Bowman with Nick there on D-Star. Paul's going to chat about Sturdy Ruby, who runs 5th in this trial down the straight, Paul. Now, he's a horse that you have had some time for in the past, and he's no stranger to Happy Valley.
No, he isn't. His best race have actually been at Happy Valley, I think. I mean, he did run a really nice race on a wet track at Sha Tin and came down the outside. I thought the trial was good. He was pushed out a little bit, so would have blown all the cobwebs out in this particular bit. He's going to get a nice run from barrier number 4. So, look, you can see him really asked to do it. So I think this would have really tightened him up nicely for this particular run.
Yeah, only 1,000 metres. That trial steps up to the 1650 for the Wednesday night assignment. Speaking of Wednesday night assignments, Paul, Durham Star is no stranger to running at Happy Valley. He has been stepped up in trip recently over the 1,650 metres, and he's run seconds behind Crucis and then second behind Yearboy in this.
This was a good run because they ran really slow time in the first 2 or 3 sectionals, and it was just a sprint home. And he came from well back and just about won the race. So, look, the 1,650 looks ideal for him at this stage. He's been working well leading into it, so I think he's a really big chance. So he did win fresh up off this rating as well last season, albeit over a slightly shorter distance.
Well, good report for Durham Star from Paul. And finally, some trial form at Sha Tin. Win-win fighter. He's back in the field. Prosecco's getting close to a win, surely, Paul, but he just can't quite get past the post in front. He's placed his last 3 and ran a 4th before that. Yeah,
exactly. And look, but I think he's got a chance in this. He's drawn barrier number 8, so I think they'll try and push forward from that wide draw. The trial wasn't too bad. He was pushed out, but he did what he had to, and he actually ended up getting his nose just in front here in this particular trial. So, look, I think he's a legitimate, at least a place chance anyway. He's been consistent recently.
He's been with Chris So for a few starts now, has a Prosecco, but it sounds like you're all over Durham Star.
Yeah, I do like Durham Star in this contest. He's well rated, he's won off this rating before, and he's a horse that does go well fresh, and I thought it was a lot of merit in his last start. So he's on top to beat Sturdy Ruby, should get a nice run from barrier number 4. That trial would have really topped him off nicely. Prosecco, and we heard from Hugh with D-Star. So the numbers in the end were 3, 5, 9 and 2.
Paul with the South African connection. Lyle Hewitson and Douglas White to win race number 2 with Durham Star. Preview time for the 3rd of 8 at the Valley, and the field is as follows. It is a Class 4 over the 1,200 metres, and Denfield a last start winner, but has an extra £9 for it. Snowalot's a 2-time course and distance winner. Lucky Archangel, 2nd time back in this grade, and he does race best in Class 4. Mega Bonus has placed 3 from 5 first up. HZ Torbjorn's won off a rating of 52. He's won a trial up at Chungfa to prepare for this race, and Charming Steed has placed first up in the past also. Harry Bentley rides him for Casper Founds. The speed here, Paul, has Mega Bonus leading off the back of a good pace. Lucky Archangel gets a nice run with Charming Steed sitting up outside of them.
Yeah, the thing with Lucky Archangel is that he's had not so much luck with the draws, and when he draws wide he always goes back and runs on, but when he draws well he normally leads or sort of tucks in just in behind. I think he can do that here with Mega Bonus sort of taking the pace. Charming Steed likes to go forward. Now the Golden Luck went forward last time and was posted wide, so I suppose there is the option for them to go back, but there is a bit of pace underneath him, so it looks tricky for Golden Luck on paper. Snow-A-Lot should get a nice run, and I think Denfield will be slightly closer from a better draw, but he does have to carry that extra weight.
And this is the reason why he's carrying the extra weight, Paul. This is his last start win, Denfield, and was at Happy Valley on the 26th of June, and he was too good for Joy coming in that race.
Yeah, look, he won really nice. He came from well back. Golden Luck, now he was wide all the way, so he had clear excuses, but when Denfield really let down here from the back, he really finished off the race strongly. It was a really good win from him. This was his first win from 7 starts. He might just take the run. That's the only thing. We just wonder about that. He's put on a little bit of body weight and he's got to carry 135. So that's a little query, but look, he really came into his own at the back end of last season.
And Vincent Ho riding him to victory. Vincent cleared to ride at Sha Tin on Sunday too. That news from the last 24 hours. This horse has found a home at Happy Valley. He's won first up in the past. He's had 5 starts over the 1200 for 2 wins and 2 thirds. His name is Snow-A-Lot and his trial was good too.
Well, good trial. Look, you look at his form line, 3-1-4-3-2. Such a consistent horse. So he's a hard horse to leave out, Snow-A-Lot. And as you mentioned, the trial was very good from him. So, look, he's one I have included. Lyle Hewitson aboard, knows the horse really well and has drawn quite nicely in barrier number 6. So I think he'll just sit just off the pace and he can finish off strongly.
That's a good book of rides, does Lyle at this meeting. And finally, some trial form around Lucky Archangel, who every time he gets back down into this grade is where he does race best. Here he is in the trials. The other horse, Daily Trophy, would have to improve. Just shaken up at this stage, Lucky Archangel.
He did. Look, he hasn't won fresh up in the past, which I suppose is a slight query, but he is now down into this grade. He's off this rating of 57. He's won off 59 before. He's won 3 times in Class 3. And I thought his run at the back end of last season was particularly good. He was quite eye-catching, making up some very good ground. So, look, he could run a bit of a cheeky race fresh at a big price.
All right, good push there for Lucky Archangel. What is the makeup of your top 4, though?
Well, I'm going to take a chance with him. I know his fresh up record isn't good, but in saying that, he's now down into the right grade, and I really liked his last run. I thought it was very, very good. Denfield, look, he's the class horse the way things have been going recently. It was a really nice win from him at the back end of last season. Mega Bonus, no, he's never won fresh in the past. His trial wasn't too bad, just sort of stuck out wide, and Snow-A-Lot's consistent. 3-1-5-2 in race 3.
And with just the 8 races at this meeting, the 3rd race will kick off the 6 up. A preview for Happy Valley on Wednesday night arrives at race number 4, and it is a Class 4, and it's over 1,200 metres. Side Hero at the top of the book. He is a horse that has won twice course and distance. Lucky Gore comes here without a trial, as does Happy Soul. Joy Cummings, a last start winner, carries an extra £5 for the victory on July 12. Travel Golf, he carries £4 less for his 4th, behind Tagepi last time. Wide a gate for Exuberant. Further down, we've got Shinkansen with a shadow roll and a tongue tie going on. And Spicy So Smart's been given 2 trials by Pierrong to prepare for this resumption, and he has led in one of those trials. Paul Spicy So Smart might roll to the top again. Lucky Gore is going to just trail him, and everybody else is either on the rail or one off.
Yeah, they should all get their chance here. Look, the thing with Lucky Gore is Luke Ferraris, he might want the lead, he might want to try and keep it, but with Spicy So Smart leading in that recent trial, and with Angus Chung aboard, I thought he might go on, and Lucky Gore can sit just in behind. Travel Golf and Shinkansen, I think, can be a slightly more forward. Was a better run from him last start.
And his trial wasn't too bad either around Shinkansen. Here is Happy Soul. Paul, we have to go back to last season to see his most recent performance. He had blood in the track here in this race, and he's been kept on the very fresh side. Yeah,
so clear excuses did Happy Soul. He still finished off, so the run was full of merit here. Did run 3rd. He's got Zach Purton aboard on Wednesday night, barrier number 7. His fresh up record's not particularly good, though. He's had a couple of goes and hasn't done too much. Has Happy Soul. So, look, I've included him. I wanted to keep him safe. I thought it was a nice enough run here.
Zach Purton takes the ride on Happy Soul from barrier number 7, so a wider draw than what he had there at Shah Tin. Joy Cummings found form at his last 2 starts. He ran second 2 starts ago, backed it up with a win over Wind Speeder. Draws nicely in barrier number 3 and was under a good hold in this trial. Paul, it was down the straight over the 1,000 metres over at Shah Tin.
Yeah, since he came to Happy Valley, he's had the 3 starts for a win and a second there now, so really starting to enjoy Happy Valley. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 3, so he's one of the major chances, I think, Joy Cumming. The trial wasn't too bad, nice easy trial here to get to the line. So look, he did run second to Denfield 2 starts ago. Denfield is running in an earlier race, so maybe we'll get a line through that as well.
Absolutely. So that is Joy Cumming. This is High Percentage Paul, who has been to the Valley. He then stepped up to 1,400 metres and didn't run a strong trip. Bit like Joy Cumming, wasn't asked to do too much in this trial, and we've seen the form out of it stand up because that grey against the outside rail is the winner from Sunday, super winner.
Yeah, and look, I think he could have won this trial. He sort of sat him behind, did Lyle Hewitson, just gave him a bit of education. He's only been to Happy Valley once, and he ran a really good race behind Solar Partner, did High Percentage, and look, the trial was good, so he's definitely going the right way.
Yeah, that is a good report for High Percentage there, the third and final of our replays. Did he do enough in that trial to be selected on top?
Oh, he did. Look, I really liked him when he came to Happy Valley on that debut run, and he ran really nicely behind Solar Power. So, look, he's definitely on top there, the 5. I'll give Sinkan Sin a chance here at a massive price, just because he seems to be on the improved. Douglas White's obviously got this horse going quite well. He's lightly raced as well. There's a gear change with the shadow roll going on and the tongue tie going on. Son of Rubik. Joy Cumming, we know he likes it there, and we talked about Happy Soul. I think 5 can win this though. 5, 9, 4 and 3.
Good push for High Percentage to win the first leg of the Triple Trio. Some informed horses at the back end of last campaign line up in race number 5 to see if they can continue. We preview this Class 3 over the 1,650 metres. California Voce heads to the Valley for the first time. Hammer on last start win extra £6 for it. Splendid Livings won his last 2. Red Majesty, cheek pieces off, blinkers go back on. Crucis, a winner 2 starts ago, and it returns to Happy Valley for the first time since that victory here. 18 Palms beat Splendid Living 2 runs back and then ran 3rd behind Prime Minister. And Pegasus General, 3 starts, course and distance for a couple of minor placings. Crucis in front. We know Splendid Living likes to go forward here. Paul, Red Majesty is out wide. And Loyal Baby was doing it tough at the back end of last season, pushing forward from wide draws to the lead. Yeah,
and he's got a good draw here, so he should get a nice run in behind. 18 Palms, I think, can come forward from his wide draw. Yeah, Red Majesty blinkers back on him, so I think he's going to try and push forward, but there is all that speed underneath him. Pegasus General, another one who went well at the back end of last season, and HK Dragon generally gets back and sort of runs on late.
Hammer-on is where we arrive for our first replay. Now, this is over 1,800 metres, Paul, and is a last start win for Hammer-on. 1,652 starts ago he placed, and his trial was strong. Trial was good, I should say. Look, he's only had the 4 starts here in Hong Kong as well. He's looks a very professional horse. He got the gap there, and he took it when he was asked to, and really finished off nicely and held on well. So, look, I think he's a chance once again in this race. I've included him, and he's drawn nicely in barrier 4. Should get a good run. We saw that on the speed map. It's a very consistent horse out of this replay, Paul, is 18 Palms. He kicked off his career over 1,650 metres here at Happy Valley. He's had the 5 starts for 1 win, 1 second and 3/3 course and distance. Not a lot of luck around the barriers though. He comes up with a barrier number 9 this week, and he's just had the 1 trial to prepare. Yeah, look, he's had 6 starts. He's been placed in 5 of them, including that win. Look, he's quite a tough horse, this one. I think he can come across on barrier 9 with Splendid Living and also Crisis in the race. He can maybe just slot in behind them and get a nice enough run. If that's the case, I think he's a chance. Splendid Living is our final replay. It's a trial from up at Chung Fa. Loyal Baby is in this as well. He was pushed out in the run to the line. Now, Splendid Living, Paul, has won over 1,650 at his last 2 outings. He will have an extra £10 on his back. Does race well over the 1,650, but what of that extra weight? Well, that's going to be the little query for him with that weight. Look, I think he can get to the front. He's got Zach Purton aboard as well, who has won on the horse in the past. He's won his last 2, so he's quite a progressive horse. He wasn't pushed out at all in this trial, as you can see. The jockey didn't even move on him. So, look, I think he's a legitimate chance in this, and just a lot of it depends on what Chrysos does in front there, because he's a bit of a one-hit wonder at this stage. few chances in this race. Who did you like?
I went with, yeah, there are. I actually went with Splendid Living in the end because I just think he can get out of trouble, and he's a very progressive horse, has won his last two really nicely. So he's on top, 18 palms in there for second, a strong horse. If he gets that right run, which I think he can do, in behind. Hamron was the last start winner over 18, but coming back to 16.50 with a bit of pace on should be okay for him. And Pegasus General really finished off the back end of last season with a couple of eye-catching runs, so I wanted to include him as well. 4-9-2-10.
It's a win for Zach Purton and Ricky Yu from Paul in race number 5 at the Valley. And race number 6 now, and the 6th race at the Valley is a Class 4 over the flying 1,000 metre. Super Commander is a 4-time course and distance winner. Gorgeous Vitality is on the class drop with a good draw. Kokoshi Musu is also on the class drop and is a 3-time winner this grade, as is a G1 Excellent when it comes to course and distance. Sergeant Pepper, Victoria's last start, carries an extra £3 for it, oversubscribed, has placed first up, no trials for him. Circuit 7 last start winner but missed the start badly in a trial. Kowloon Star, he's had 2 trials to prepare. He was scratched on the 12th of July with a head wound. Derek Long takes the ride on him for Manfred Mann. He is a fast beginner. Paul is Kowloon Star, but so is Circuit 7 normally, so is Sergeant Pepper, but so is Super Commander.
Yeah, Super Commander's the quickest of all, and he's drawn barrier number 3, so I think he can get to the front and lead. Sergeant Pepper's just drawn one outside him in 4, he can sit in behind. Kowloon Star, look, he's an alternative leader, but I don't know if he's got the speed of Super Commander. Circuit 7, he's the one that could be stuck on a limb there because he's another one who does like to go forward as well. So we'll see where he ends up.
Before we hear more from Paul, Nick's been out and about at Sha Tin this morning and spoke to the trainer of Pachisi, Jamie Richards.
Jamie, Pachisi, one of your runners coming up at Happy Valley. Lightly raced horse, but I guess to some degree a little bit frustrating so far.
Yeah, for sure. Because of his size, you've just got to be a little bit careful with him, and he's not the greatest of eaters, so he doesn't make it easy on himself. But he trialled up pretty well at Chongfa the other day. He's had the benefit of a summer break, and he heads into the race in good order, albeit very difficult from the outside barrier. So we're going to need a bit of luck. Expect him to be finding the line well, but when you struggle to draw a gate, it makes it very hard for him.
It does. We can touch upon some of those internal issues as well. Obviously, he's been declared a Rory's last couple, mucus last time. Have you managed to sort of iron all those issues out? I mean, what can you do with a horse like that, I suppose?
Well, he's not a big, heavy sort of horse that you think would go in the wind. He's a lightly framed athletic sort of horse, and yeah, unfortunately his wind isn't great, but we're pretty happy with where he's at the moment. Sometimes the young horses take a little while to get used to living in an air-conditioned box and all of those sorts of things. So we've been happy with his mucus and happy with the way that his throat has been functioning, but until they really come under race day pressure, you're not exactly sure where they're at. So happy with him, but he's got a couple of things going against him as well, hasn't he?
He has. I guess one of the positives, if we can spin one on it, is 140-day break. He did go well first up when presented last term. So you're confident he's a bit of a fresh horse, maybe?
Perhaps. As I say, because he's not a big, strong horse, he needs his races spaced a little bit, and perhaps because of his wind, 1,000 metres is his limit. But yeah, it's a pretty, there's lots of pace in the race, so it might set it up for something to come up from off them a little bit first time back at Happy Valley A course, but it'll certainly be a challenge for Zach.
Certainly will be, no better man. How is the team, Jamie, coming into this second full season for you? Are you happy with the way everything's going so far?
Yeah, we rested a few of the horses at the end of the season with a view to trying to get them going a little bit earlier than we did last season, and unfortunately we've just had a few little hold-ups. Things haven't gone our way. The typhoon and the rainstorms made it difficult for everybody. The horses, they sort of had 3 days off in the last 8 days last week, which is it doesn't make things easy when you're trying to prepare them to race, but everybody's been in the same sort of scenario there. But hopefully as we get a bit deeper into the season and the new horses start to come out, we'll hopefully get going a bit.
There he is, Jamie Richards, re Pachisi. We've got some race form to look at now, Paul, featuring a win of Sergeant Pepper. Oversubscribed's got his best mate Alexi Bedell on again this week. Starry Night ran 8th and G1 Excellent. Did he climb his mountain last season because he really went off at the back end, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? And look, he hasn't got a good fresh record either, so I'm happy to watch him. But Sergeant Pepper's going to get a really nice run just in behind. He's run second of a 60 rating. He's at this rating of 55 at the moment, so he's well rated. And I didn't mind Oversubscribed's run either. He's one of 46. He's at a 48 rating, so he's not too far away either. I'm going to include both those two.
Okay, good report that pair. Here is Super Commander doing the only thing he knows, Paul, be it race night or trial day. And he bolts in this trial, but it was under an apprentice, so would have carried no weight.
Yeah, exactly, but didn't he win it well? The thing with this horse, Super Commander, is he's just so speedy out of the gate. He's drawn nicely in barrier number 3. Luke Ferraris aboard does know the horse really well, did win on him last time. He's up in the ratings, but look, if he's in front, fresh up, you know, I think he can run a bit of a race. It's just how much pressure is put on him, but he's one of these tough horses that doesn't mind a bit of pressure on him.
All right, that is a good report for Super Commander. He'll go flat out from barrier number 3. Who is going to be going flat out at the end of the race and winning?
I'm going to go with Super Commander, and a lot of it's going to depend on the first sectional, really, just to see how much pressure is put on him. But he's on top. Sergeant Pepper will sit on his back, and he's well rated at the moment. Oversubscribed. The more sort of pace in the race will suit him because he's got a good finish. And Ace Talent, another one that really found his niche at Happy Valley last season, won 3 starts ago and backed it up with a couple of really good placings. 1-5-8-7.
That is race number 6. Race number 6, the first leg of the late treble. And race number 7 is all about speed. We run the flying 1,000 metres here for the Class 3s, and Atomic Force is on the class drop. California Deeply, 2-time course and distance winner. Explosive Witness, Harmony and Blessed, 3-time course and distance winners, the pair of them. Heroic Master has the cheek pieces going on. Amazing Rocky's placed 4 from 4 first up. We know what Super Axiom will do. He'll go forward and down the bottom. Party Warrior both wins 1,200 metres, having his 9th go. At 1,000, he's run 3 seconds over the distance. The speed here, Paul, has Super Axiom hiking along in the lead.
Yeah, we know he's one of the fastest horses in Hong Kong out of the gate, so he should be able to lead. Magnet can sit him behind him. He likes to go forward, gone forward in a recent trial. Harmony Bless is a natural leader, so he's going to go forward, as is Amazing Rocky. So there will be pace in this race. High Rise Soldier should get a nice run, as will Heroic Master, California Deeply, Atomic Force, Humble Star. But Party Warrior's drawn wide. I think he's going to have to go all the way back.
One of the other horses that is certainly going to be a pace influence, maybe not the pace of Super Axiom, but he does race well in a first up condition, is Harmony and Blessed. And here's Nick with his trainer, David Hayes.
David, the first Happy Valley meeting upcoming, and you've got a couple of horses that absolutely love it around the tight turns. One of them is Harmony and Blessed. He's got a deadly record fresh.
Yeah, really good fresh. He struck a race with a lot of speed, but his track work and trials have been typically as good as usual. So if Derek can begin well, he should be competitive for a long way.
He's a 7-year-old now, David, and we were chatting on our coverage over the weekend that there is a case to be made potentially for these old horses that do like to go well fresh, sort of making hay while the sun shines early. Do you buy into that at all? As a 7-year-old, is he in as good a form as ever, do you think?
I think so, yeah. I reckon when he was here and lost form in his early days, he had growing pains and adjusting. Now he's fully adjusted. He's a tough, hard nut and quite reliable.
I mean, like you say, given that form last back end, I mean, he rarely ran a bad race for you all last season, to be fair.
No, he didn't. He ran a lot of placings. He earned money for his owners most the whole season, and he has been a bleeder and he's had a joint operation, so he's done a marvellous job.
Good to have Derek on, of course. He knows the horse very well. Seems to ride him accordingly, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and Super Axiom is a very fast horse in the race. He'll probably slide across and follow him.
I guess you and the horse will just be pleased to not be seeing the back end of season's wit. They had a right old stoush, didn't they, when we last saw them?
If you look at his form, he ran just beaten by him every time. I'd look at the noms and shake my head, so I'm pleased he's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Well, listen, we wish you well with him. And just quickly, a line on another old track favourite, Red Majesty. How's he?
I think he'll run better than his odds suggest. His trial was good. This bit of rain about only helps him. And he's got a pretty good Valley Mile record, so he's had a couple of trials and he's quite fit.
Could be a night for the old boys.
It'll be good. Let's hope so.
All right, we'll find out if he makes Paul's top 4 shortly. This horse is certainly going to at least one of them. Heroic Master and California Deeply trialled together, Paul, up at Chungfa. California Deeply first, Heroic Master second, the Golden Scenery third. Bang, winner on Sunday.
He did, didn't he? I think both these. I've actually got these two as the Quinella. I thought Heroic Master, he goes well fresh, this horse. Was a bit unlucky on his debut run, and then he did win pretty early in his career here in Hong Kong on a very similar rating. His body weight's up, and I think that's a good thing for him because he really lost weight towards the back end of the last season and his form dropped off at the same time. So now the weight's gone back on. I quite like it. I like Zach aboard him as well.
That's a really good push for Heroic Master from Paul. We're staying in Chungfa now, and our final trial is Maniac. He's a horse that led all of the way. Brenton Avdulla for Jamie Richards. What about over 1,000 metres for the first time?
I think there's a lot of pace in the race, so that's going to sort of suit this horse. I think he'll get the best run in the race from his draw. He's drawn nicely in 3. He can let the pace go and sit him behind. We know he's a class horse. He really came into his own, winning last season from limited start. So he did sort of go off the board the last race there when he sort of tailed off. But look, I'm going to include him because I think fresh up after this trial, he looks like he's back to some of the form we saw last season.
That was him in the club's colours up at Chungfa. He'll wear those blue and white colours on Wednesday night, but a Heroic Master for you. Yeah,
Heroic Master on top to beat California Deeply. I think this will be the Quinella, and the pace should really suit both these two horses. 6 to beat 2, Magnac. And look, I'm going to include Humble Star in here. He's his best run in Hong Kong was when he won, albeit from in the protest room, was on his debut here in Hong Kong. His second best run was his last run at the back end of last season. So he's trialled well. He's sort of come here now and he's been here for a little while. 1 off 65 and off a rating of 64. Included him as well. 6-2-5-8.
They are Paul's selections with Heroic Master on top for a good race. Race number 7. And the last on Wednesday night, to wrap it all up at 10 minutes to 11 local time, is a Class 3 over the 1,200 metres, and Reward Smile is a last start winner, carries an extra £3. Superb Capitalist, 1 for 1 first up. Excellent Piers' Place first up. Armour Eagle's a 2-time course and distance winner. Brilliant Way is now with Pierre Rong. Hood off, Shadow Roll goes on. Lucky Gold is coming back from the 1,400 metres, and Mark Newnham has his first starter in Hong Kong with 1 for All, and Lyle Hewitson is going to take the ride on him. Speed here, Paul. Packing Bowl goes forward. He's got a far better draw than what he did at Sha Tin, but he's also got Superb Capitalist in the race.
With an apprentice on, Angus Chung aboard. I think Superb Capitalist might try and push on and try and get to the lead, and it's just whether what they do on Packing Bowl, do they let it hand up or not. He's led in both his starts. It's up to Derek, see if what he wants to do, get into a speed battle or not. If Superb Capitalist does go on with it, Exponential can come across. All Greek to me might just make it hard for him with Zach aboard. 1 for All will get a really good run, but it might set it up for something at the back here.
1 for All, one of the most interesting runners all meeting, because Mark Newnham has that first runner in Hong Kong. The man to sit on board is Lyle Hewitson, and Lyle spoke to Nick.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of the beginner's luck and get Mark off to a great start. He's obviously a lovely horse and he has stepped up in grade now, but with the weight relief, that should be in his favour.
You know the horse quite well, of course. 1 for All, the galloper in question. He's an interesting horse. The fact that he seems to do most of his racing from the front. On paper, they're going to go pretty quick in this one.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. To start up in this sort of field makes it a bit more difficult. He's a horse that's shown good gate speed and a lot of speed. So, look, plan A is still going to be to pop out and press on for the first half a furlong. But I think we're going to have to be wise about the situation. There's 3 or 4 other noted front runners, so yeah, it does make it a bit more difficult, but he is a horse that's doing well.
You've done a lot of work with the horse. You've been working closely with Mark as well. Give us a little bit of an insight into the sort of man that Mark is. What's he like to deal with? And I guess given his record in Australia, there'd be a lot of hope that he will succeed here, which I'm sure he might well do.
Yes, I'm sure he will. His CV obviously speaks for itself, so do not need to harp on about that, but I've found that he's a thorough gentleman, easy to approach, and he's been a big help, with getting to ask for horses and discuss tactics and whatnot. So I believe that he'll have a successful career here, of course.
And for the rest of the evening, Lyle, you've got a nice enough book of rides. You encompassed victories over all distances last season with 22 wins at Happy Valley. Outside of him, what might be the pick of the rest of your ride? You've got 18 Palms and G1 Excellent, etc.
Yeah, 18 Palms obviously also in good form and will have come on with the season under his belt. That actually also looks like a fairly competitive race with 3 or 4 others that's in good form at the moment. But yeah, he would be a live wire. I think that Snow Lot just continues a good vein of form and has also Danny Shum's beat, but barring that, I think we'll be in with a good shot. And high percentage showed at Happy Valley last season too. That run over 1200 was very impressive. So bouncing back to that sort of form, we'll have a chance.
Lightweight one for all. Ken, the higher weighted horses, a figure here, Paul. You can't knock what Reward Smile has done in a short career. He's only had the total of 5 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds. He's had a trial. He ran second behind Sports Legend and was under a nice hold in that race as well at the Valley, but 135.
That's a query, 135, but he's never finished further back than second in his whole career here in Hong Kong. His 5 starts have all been very good, and he won this with plenty of authority. Look, he's definitely one of the major chances, this horse, and he's just going the right way. Luke Curry aboard, and Zach's ridden him in the last couple, but Luke has won on the horse before.
Adding to the intrigue of this race is the bottom one, Packing Bowl. Trialled really well, brought that trial form to the track on debut. Not so much the second time where he folded up quite badly. Been back to the trials and has bounced straight back. Where do you see him in this race, knowing he hasn't raced at Happy Valley under race conditions, but he has trialled well there? He
has, hasn't he? Look, he had to work in the early stages from barrier 14 last time, but he folded up pretty quickly. Look, when he did win his race at Sha Tin, he won it with plenty in hand, and then he came out an odds-on favourite, which has been odds on both starts. The trial was good. It just depends how much pressure he gets. I didn't want to completely leave him out, but I'm just a little bit worried about that, the way he raced last start.
It's a good field, this, isn't it?
Yeah, very, really good field to finish, isn't it?
Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to go one we haven't talked about, actually, a horse called Excellent Pairs. Now, Excellent Pairs is going to get a really good run just in behind. He's got plenty of really good finish on him, this horse. The pace is going to be absolutely perfect for him. He's run second off 79. He's at this rating of 76. And his run last time behind Superb Capitalist really caught the eye when he finished off strongly. He's drawn nicely in barrier 2. So he's on top. 1 for all in there for second. He'll come up short with the hype around Mark Newnham's first runner. Reward Smile, we know he's a classy horse, but has to carry the weight. And then there's that query around Packing Bowl. So a few queries around some of the other horses. That's why I went for Excellent Pairs, and hopefully we'll find some value there. 4, 10, 1, 11.
There you go, Value Hunters. Excellent Pairs it is in race number 8. That's the preview for Happy Valley. The race-by-race preview is done. We'll see you for the first on the A course at Happy Valley with race 1. Earlier start time, 7:10.